Hi everyone, Raquel here from Scrapcosy. I'm just going to, carry on doing this sample that I started yesterday. It's a wood panel effect that I did with some satin glaze and then some Fresco acrylic paints and some infusions. I just stamped some of my new stamps, which will be released very soon in February. So you get to see them here in action. And I'm going to just color these with a combination of satin glaze and infusions, which will make my acrylic paint. Okay, so I'm just going to put a blob of satin glaze into my craft sheet, and I'm going to mix it with the different colors of infusions. So you don't need a lot because, well, this goes a long way. And I'm going to paint, I don't know, let's paint the bird blue, so it will be blue and blue. You just need a tiny bit amount like that, not a lot. And then with a round brush, you just grab some of that glaze and mix it very, very well until you get all the powders dissolved. For those who don't know, infusions are a pigment dye and walnut crystals, and then once they are combined together, then you get the color from the bottle. A more vintage look, basically because of the walnut crystals, but yeah, that's the color that you will kind of get. Once you do this mix, you can test how vibrant the color is in the back of the card. This is a translucent paint, so if it's too light, don't you worry, because you can work on it and then build up layers of color. But if it's too dark, then it's very difficult to actually, retrieve color. You can't, basically. So it's better to be less than more. It's better here. So you can build up layers after layers, and it's better to work with thin layers. And then once they are dry, you would move on and add more layers if you want. So this blue is a bit pale, so I'm going to add a second layer, and as you can see, the bird starts popping out much better. And I don't want a super vibrant look on here because I'm just working like if it was a wood panel effect, so, and if it was painted in wood, so I preferred this to be like a muted tone. Then I'm going to swap to another color, and what I'm going to do is cleaning my brush. I like to first remove all the glaze that I have like this, and then just water and then dry it. It needs to be dry for the next color. And then I'm going to work now with some yellow. So I'm going to do the same, just put a tiny bit amount there, and then grab the satin glaze and mix it with the yellow. And here you can see very well that the walnut crystals are over there. They are brownish and they are spots. And they dissolve at different speed than the rest of the powders. Then once everything is dissolved, you get this yellowish, very vintagey. I love this color, that's my favorite, golden sands. And then I unload the brush and start painting. So I'm going to color the rest of the bird in yellow. It's very light mix. You can always add more infusions if you want to get a darker color, as I said, but since it's translucent, you can always build up layers after layers. So I'm going to also paint some of the flowers, this color, and then I'll go back and add a second layer of color on the bird. Now that it's dry, it dries very quickly, and it's a very fun technique to work with. And I'm using glaze because this is a non-porous surface that I'm working on. So glaze will make sure that it stays and it doesn't move, and also it becomes waterproof. So if I wanted to do another step with water, well, I would be safe and my colors would not move. So I'm adding that color over there, a little bit more there. And now I'm going to swap the color, and I'm going to again clean my brush a little bit, dip it into water and dry it very well. And now I'm going to work with a green. This one is the sage. So another tiny bit amount, mix. And infusions it's not directly this color, it's a mix of colors. So then once they dissolve, they actually get the color that you see in the bottle, but otherwise, if you spritz with water, which is another technique that you could do, you could see all the colors that compound that. You can test the green over there, and then see if you like it, you can carry on and do it. So I'm going to paint the branch. Oh my gosh. I'm going to add some color to the branch of this bird, and then to the leaves of this flower. I'm being loose here, so I don't mind if I go beyond the lines. Because it's a very soft color, it will be alright. So I'll add another layer afterwards to make it pop a bit more.
Yeah, I'm always keeping my eyes on trash.
Yeah, and then I'll move to the final color, which is the red, to just paint those two flowers and pop them out.
You weren't even here for that bit, so
Okay, that will be enough. So now I'm cleaning my brush for the final color. Now mixing Sunset Beach, just a tiny bit amount. That's even too much, so I'm just picking some of that color. Moving it around to get my own translucent paint. Let's see how it tastes. Yeah, it's good. So I just paint those flowers.
again, I don't have left my trolley again. I keep putting it down somewhere.
See ya.
Okay, and the other one. Okay, so that's a fun way to color with infusions using glaze and creating your own translucent paint. And this is what you get. So, well, I hope you like it. And now I'm going to show you another technique if you want to stay by. We will do a rust effect and see how it looks using Fresco paints. Yeah. So now I'm going to clean my surface. This is just need a paper towel. I'm working on PaperArtsy's surface. This is a matte that it's whitish. So then you can see the colors over there, which are very good, instead of having the usual craft color matte. So it's very useful. And now I'm going to switch to the paints. So I'm going to use these colors over here. And what I'm trying to achieve is this effect over here that I did in this other sample, which is a rust effect. And we will apply it, well, on a back of a card to frame this. Okay? And we are also going to apply some over here for a bit of texture. Okay? So let's start with this. We need to mix this with some grunge paste to get more texture even, and you'll see what you get. So let's get a spatula. This is a plaster-based texture paste, and it's not tinted, so it's not white. So once you mix it with the other paints, it will still keep that vibrancy of the paint. Other texture pastes have like a white pigment on it, and then, well, basically you cannot. Well, your paint will be pastelized, right? But this one, well, stays like that. So I'm going to do just 3 little puddles, and I'm going to mix these with the corresponding paints. So the biggest one for me will be chocolate pudding, because that's gonna be like the background. And I'm going to apply first a quick layer of paint around the edges, very briefly, and with a brush, and then we'll move on and apply the paste. This is just to have a base and then to attach the card so I can work directly on that. So I'm going to apply that brownish on the edges of the card, and then I'll attach my frame and start working on them. Wow, these brushes are very soft. I'll put a bit more of that paint, and any leftovers I'll use them for the grunge paste, so don't worry. Okay, so once I have that little frame, this paint dries super quickly, so you want to work with thin layers because they dry very quickly, and you can apply another layer on top until you're satisfied. As you can see, these dry matte, so once they become matte, it means that they are dry. Okay, so that's my frame. I'm gonna clean this a little bit just to not mess up. But, okay, and I'm going to attach these over there. I'm going to heat set that just to make sure that I don't have anything, any blob that was over there. Make sure that it's dry. Okay, it's done. And now I'm going to attach these to the back, to the frame. I'm going to use some of this adhesive if I manage to find the end. Where is it? Oh gosh. Hello. Yeah, there you are. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to apply a few pieces over here. And with my scissors. Okay, 1, 2, and then I'll do the same on 2 sides. And here. And in here. And just a little bit there. Okay, that should be enough. So I'm gonna remove, well, you know, these beads over here and touch it. This is the trickiest part. Get these out. Come on. Okay. Oops. Oh wow. I pulled the wrong thing. Okay. I think I'll put some music. Ya cortaré porque si no esto es horroroso. Okay. Okay, final one. Yeah. So.
3% queda. 5.
Vale, si quieres cuando se acabe cambiamos, me avisas y ya está. Uy. Vaya hombre. A ver. Okay. Okay, more or less. I'm gonna trim these down because I didn't manage to put it centered. It's a bit quirky, this bit. Okay, so now we are going to mix these pastes with the different paints and the spatula. So we are going to create a brown paste there with the black pudding. And you may see that it's kind of pastelized, but then once dry, it will actually be brownish. Hello. And now we are mixing autumn fire with the middle puddle.
Yes, except it's not exactly the same. Those are made of plastic, this is made of fabric. So those deteriorate.
You could add sand if you wanted to add more texture to the rust finish, or just leave it like that.
Yeah, okay. Just like one color of the chalk.
So that will give us dimension on that rust.
Let me just check our schedule.
Okay, and now the final one is going to be the yellow. And we just need a little bit. It's going to be a glimpse that we need. Okay? And what we'll need to apply this will be a brush. So just a flat brush, one of those that you use for stenciling. Will do.
Yeah, if I were going to design that.
So I'm going to use these brushes. They are very inexpensive, so. And I'm just going to pounce, unload a little bit, and start pouncing into my project.
Yay.
So I'm going to start doing like that.
She was a bit, oh, I don't know.
And adding that texture. And if you pounce and you turn while you pounce, then it will be more organic, and you will not get a repeated pattern. It will be more organic. So the idea here is to focus more on these two corners, and the rest, well, only the border will have that rust effect. And this paste, sadly, people will ask, I'm sure, if it lasts longer. No, it doesn't. So you just need to make sure that you don't prepare as much, too much paste of this, because you're gonna, well, it will be wasted. Because it needs to be airtight contained if you want to keep it for long. And here, because I have my bird that has the branch and it's kind of floating in the air, then I'm going to just apply more rust paste and pretend that they are attached to that rust, and the branch comes from the rust.
Yes.
It may not be very natural, but but there you go.
Yes. And can you do that onto?
So almost there.
And if you
Final spot.
I assume you're going to do it onto like an Egyptian cushion or something quite fine, something quite with a fine weave.
Okay. So that would be the first layer, and I may work a little bit more on this side. Okay. Okay, so let's call that done. And now we are going to flip color to change to another color. So I'm going to unload this brush a little bit, just so I don't get a lot, and then I'm going to work with the orange. And for the orange, we just need a hint, so very, very tiny detail. So it's not full coverage, it's just a hint, and that will start giving this the look of a sort of a metal. And I want to heat set that also better, so they don't get mixed, and then we build one layer on top of the other rather than making mud, because if you mix the colors, basically you get another brown, and what we want is actually to get that rust effect and have the feeling that the particles are independent. So yeah, just heat setting this a little bit. Hello. So it's more or less dry, and now yeah, we're gonna add that orange. You could apply paint directly if you were happy with the texture that you have underneath already, instead of mixing it with a Grunge paste. Or if you want to make it flatter and not 3D, well, you can avoid the Grunge paste part. You still need to be able to see that brown underneath. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. My amount of that should be right. And now we are going to flip to the yellow, so I'm going to change and use a smaller brush, because for here we just want a very, very tiny bit amount. It's just nothing, so even less than the orange. So you work always, you can combine the colors and start differently, and always work with one as a base and then use the other two on top, and always the first one that you put down is the one that will be more dominant, and then the other two will just be like covering the other two in a slightly less amount. So always working from more to less.
We painted through our things with it stays on those.
Okay. And then the final touch and magic touch is going to be applying gold. And then you'll see that it will see metal. It will be the final touch. So let's get that gold. Shake it a little bit. It doesn't move. I hope it's mixed. So just a little bit more, but nothing there. And then again, pounds, and even less or same amount that the actual yellow, and that will give you that shine and that sparkle, and it will tell your eyes that this is actually metal when it's not. So you could combine different colors. You could get like a copper style look and then maybe swap the brown and swap it with a green patina or this sort of green color, turquoise color, and then you'd get a different rust effect. Okay. Almost there.
Thanks, Kira.
Yeah. Okay, so that will be the rust that you get with Fresco paint. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.